What's up guys, it's Punchy, and it's time for another Deepwoken update as the countdown for Conquest draws closer. Of course, this game mode is still being worked on, but I will say it's looking pretty exciting, so keep an eye out for that. Back on topic, we have some pretty cool changes to look at today, and let's get right into it. Today, we have a new mantra, and it's pretty special. So with a mix of both Thundercall and Galebreath respectively, we have Tempest Blitz. This mantra requires 30 of each attunement and is absolutely insane. So as you can see, I dash forward and to the side before slamming down into my target to deal heavy damage, and this is gonna be crazy. It's very exciting to see the first ever hybrid mantra, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the future of these type of abilities. Another interesting modifier to a Galebreath mantra that we kept asking for is canceling Rising Wind whenever we want. This grab would keep players stuck for its entire duration, and it sucked when your whole mantra missed and you kept on playing this animation. Now, this should no longer be much of an issue because we can cancel it by pressing M2. This is cool, and a few other mantras need the same treatment. A fun change that we've been waiting on for a while is the partial rework of the basic shadow gun. So everybody always uses the blast spark, and it's about time that we get a basic buff. Now, when shooting a single shadow gun shot, damage is greatly increased, it does way more posture, and it guard breaks at level 5. So this is cool, and I think it's a way larger upgrade than these shadow chains, and to be honest, I'm not going to talk about that because it generally just got buffed. Onto some balancing, we have some huge shifts in the current PvP meta that shut down passive healing, and this has been a topic of discussion for a while now. Starting off with a giant nerf, Blood Shadow has been transformed into something else entirely. So basically, this Shadowcast reinforced talent used to apply when reinforcing targets and quickly drain their HP until the user took damage or was hit. The damage being dealt to others wasn't really much of the problem, but playing defensively and gaining HP because of that was disliked by almost everybody that didn't have this combo. So now, Blood Shadow does not exist. Blood Shadow has become the talent Lord's Tithe, and it's way more fitting for Shadowcast thematically because instead of healing HP from those you reinforce, it now steals Ether, which is a giant rework. This is clearly an undeniable nerf, but with a reduction of overall healing in Deepwoken, it's about time we say goodbye to Blood Shadow as we know it. Right beside Blood Shadow, the entire reinforced mantra is lying right there next to it, dead and buried in the ground. The Grant Support talent allowed you to heal yourself and others when using reinforce, but now it only heals the user if they apply the healing to somebody else. That means in every situation you buff yourself only, you can no longer get that free heal unless it's supporting a teammate or somebody else. This mantra will probably only be used for its support capability, which was intended, but wow, these hits are hard to players who had HP regen builds. We're not done yet because Flame Wisp also got reworked, and it's no longer the best thing in the entire game. This mantra no longer provides free healing, it just absorbs some damage from burns and turns it into healing. I don't really know how this works with Eruption, but it seems like aggressive play is rewarded instead of doing nothing. Sustaining HP was a huge issue with spamming Bloodless Gems, Reinforce, Blood Shadow, Flame Wisp, and even Conditioned Runner, but it seems like Deepwoken is moving away from this meta of regen, which might be beneficial for its future. Besides these huge nerfs, we also have some weapon and enchant adjustments. A lot of players recently were picking weapons with low investment cost and the metal enchant to take advantage of how it functioned without losing a ton of points. Essentially, the metal enchant stole armor based on the weapon damage plus, damage multipliers, but now it steals armor based on the final weapon damage instead of any multipliers or anything else. I would consider this a metal nerf, but it should be more consistent throughout all combat applications, and now you must have a high damage amount on your base weapon to steal a lot of armor with the metal enchant. Another cool thing we have available, the Rifle Spear critical now shoots a bullet if the close range explosion does not hit. This should allow this unique option to be viable at mid to long range, and it's a special spear with some special attributes. Another really large nerf that needs to be stated is the hit towards the basic Dagger crit. If you weren't aware, the critical attack did 3 separate hits that each dealt the damage of a single M1, so a full critical did 3 times the amount of your M1, maybe even more. This was pretty strong, but today it has been nerfed, so the base Dagger crit second and third slashes do less than the first, and this should tone down the huge damage being put out by Dagger users on their critical attack. For those interested in loot and specifically min-maxing your build for the most efficient optimal stats, we have something for you. In this new update, rare monster armor pips now grant +1 physical armor and +1 elemental armor. Alongside this, sanity pips now grant a small amount of ether to make up for being absolutely useless. Personally, I don't know anyone who voluntarily chooses sandy on their equipment or even monster armor, but it seems like it's a little bit more useful now. Besides all these changes, Battle Royale has also returned this week as it normally does for the weekend, so check it out and play with your friends. That's about it for now, and there's so much to explore and test in-game, so I haven't covered everything in this update, and I encourage all of you to experiment for yourselves. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe because we're so close to 70k. Thanks again, it's punchin' time.